The reigning world chess champion Magnus Carlsen has played a lot of magnificent games where he managed to build up a strong attack and finished up the game by going for a queen sacrifice. In this video I have selected my favorite top 5 queen sacrifices made by Magnus Carlsen which lead to a forced mate. Number 5. This position is taken from a game played between Magnus Carlsen and Suren Andreasen in 2003 in Halkidiki. In this position, the future world chess champion went for an exchange sacrifice and captured on d7. With this move he is simply exploiting the weakness of the long diagonal and the h file. Now if a move like queen takes d7, then this time queen h2 is winning. In our game, after rook takes d7, we have queen takes c5 and king b1. Carlsen is simply unpinning the bishop. b4 by Andreasen, after which Carlsen went for a queen sacrifice and we have a resignation. The queen is untouchable because of this imminent checkmate, and actually by going for queen takes g4, white is threatening queen takes g6 checkmate. Pay attention please, there is also light squared bishop on a2. For example, now if move like b takes c3, then queen g6 checkmate is coming. Or after queen takes g4, if king g7, then white can go for a beautiful rook sacrifice, and again very soon we will have a forced mate on the board. Or after queen takes g4, if I move like queen f5 check, then after the exchange of queens on f5, once black is losing his knight on f6, there is no way to avoid this mate. That's why after this beautiful queen takes g4 sacrifice, as I've already mentioned, we have a resignation. A nice queen sacrifice, but of course not as impressive like the ones which we are going to see very soon. Number 4. This game was also played in 2003 in Halkidiki. In this game, Magnus Carlsen, who was playing with the black pieces, faced his compatriot John Ludwig Hammer. In here already white's position looks terrible and is difficult to find a good continuation. Here Hammer played rook e1, trying to get rid of this active knight on e2, which is like standing on white's throat, but instead of thinking about moving away his knight, Carlsen went for a queen sacrifice and he played queen h5 check. Look at this epic queen sacrifice, guys. After this queen sacrifice we have a resignation, because if we move like g takes h5, which is forced, black can announce an Anastasia's mate by playing rook h4. Number 3. This position is taken from a game played between Magnus Carlsen and Viswanathan Anand in 2014 at Zurich Chess Challenge. In this position, Magnus Carlsen played g4, and once Anand moved back his bishop on e6, he went for a series of exchanges. He first captured on e6, and after f takes e6 also exchanged the rooks on f8. And once the bishop left the h4 d8 diagonal, Carlsen announced a check from f6. King h8 by Anand, and overlooking an immediate mate, Carlsen played c3. And only after knight c6, Carlsen went for knight e8 check, which he could play instead of playing c3. We have a queen sacrifice, and in here Anand resigned. Now if we move like knight takes e5, then rook takes f8 is coming, and we can witness a very picturesque checkmate where the knight is covering the g7 square and the rook is killing the enemy king. Or after knight e8 check, if we move like king g8, then this time white can sacrifice his queen on h8 and then announce a checkmate by winning the bishop on f8. A magnificent finish, and like in the game played against Hammer, Carlsen is killing the enemy king with the help of a rook and the knight cooperation. Number 2. This position is taken from a game played between Magnus Carlsen and Sergei Karyakin during the 2016 World Championship match. This game is from the rapid section, and in here Sergei Karyakin, who was playing with the black pieces, played queen f2 and created a mating threat. But Carlsen announced a check from c8, and after king h7 he went for a queen sacrifice. By the way, if a move like bishop f8, then of course this can prolong black's resistance, but even in this case black king has no chance to survive. White can go for an exchange sacrifice, after which the second rook will join the attack with the check, and then white can unleash a king hunt and can quickly finish up black king. This is one of the possible lines. Let's go back in our game. After rook c8 check, Karyakin played king h7, and after Magnus Carlsen's brilliant queen sacrifice on h6, Sergei Karyakin resigned. If king takes h6, then rook h8 checkmate is coming, or if a move like g takes h6, then rook takes f7, and again we will have a very unique checkmate on the board. Number 1. This one is my favorite queen sacrifice, which Magnus Carlsen made in a game against Hans Kroch Harestad. At the time of this game Carlsen was 12 years old, but already his rating was 2385. In this position the future world chess champion played knight h5 check, and after g takes h5, this time he sacrificed his queen by capturing on g5. Truly a brilliant queen sacrifice, which is breaking into pieces black's king side. Now if a move like king f8, then queen g8 checkmate is coming. That's why after queen takes g5, Harestad accepted the sacrifice and recaptured with the pawn. But in here the rook joined the attack, rook f7 check, and after king takes h6, Carlsen announced a checkmate. Look at this brilliant checkmate where the rook, cooperating together with the light squared bishop, are managing to kill the enemy king. As you have already noticed in our list, this was the only game where after a queen sacrifice Carlsen also managed to announce a checkmate. Truly a brilliant final combination by 12-year-old wonder boy Magnus Carlsen. Thanks for watching. I would also like to know whose top 5 queen sacrifices you would like to see in one of my future videos. Leave your comments please, and in the end, as usual, I have a chess puzzle for you. This is a position which was taken from one of Magnus Carlsen's recent games played on Lichess. In here, Magnus Carlsen made a move and black resigned. Find the winning move for white, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Consider checking them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.